Hey guys, Dorgann's event is finally out. I actually haven't pulled on the banner yet. I'm actually now half debating whether or not I should really even pull for Dorgann. Mainly because I actually already have Celeste's FR at BT and I've been using her. And I'm not sure whether I will use Dorgann all that much. Not saying he's bad or anything, but it's just at this point I'm pretty comfortable with my roster. And we do have Seed Rains coming up next as well. And the main issue I'm having is the bottleneck of not having enough high power stones. I used 12 of them just to max out Celeste's FR, and I probably want to max out Seed Rain's FR coming up next as well. So if I have to spend another 12 on Dorgann's FR, it will pretty much put a big dent in my power stone stash, so kinda still deliberating on it. Anyway, what I have here is the usual Tifa Blitz, and it's also going to be a 0-turn run. I don't know why, but the enemy's HP pool seems to be decreasing over the last two events. We had only 95 million in the Aranias stage, and in this stage the bosses only have 85 million HP each. And so you don't really need a lot to kill them off, and I just went straight for a 0-turn run. The setup and strategy is pretty straightforward. You have Kain, Aerith and Tifa in reverse priority order, and you do need to arrange the priority order in that way. So I had Kain going first, and right at the start I swapped him out for the Lunafreya support, mainly to apply quick prayer on both Aerith and Tifa. It really only Tifa needs it, but I guess having Aerith is a bonus. And then I just had Kain use a Lunafreya call so that he can go BT plus, LD and jump all in one single turn without increasing the turn count. Now on Aerith's turn, I was hoping to launch a couple of Seal Evil right here, but as you can see on her second Seal Evil, everything did 0 damage, and then I realized that the enemy's Max Brave down aura, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well, but the aura sort of made her have 0 Brave, so there's really no point using her LD, so I just spammed Healing Wind all the way. Aerith's role is really just as a Force Gauge charger, and so that she can also pass her turn to Tifa without increasing the turn count through the use of her Cetra prayer. Anyway, while she is charging up the Force Gauge, just a quick mention about the mechanics on this stage. The key mechanic here is the Max Brave down aura. So in case you're not aware, right at the start of the battle, and there's no way to prevent this at the start, the bosses will get an aura that will reduce your Max Brave by a whopping 400%, and in most cases you have very little Max Brave. As you can see here, Aerith has 0. The way to dispel the aura is to hit Force Weakness on this stage, and that's the only way to get rid of the aura. Now it is very possible to actually stack support auras that boost your Max Brave to sort of balance off the Max Brave down effect, and you can actually make do without hitting Force Weakness, but you do need a specialized party setup that focuses on stacking Max Brave up buffs and auras. Anyway, to hit Force Weakness here, you do need to do a melee FR, which I'm about to do here on Tifa's turn, but the melee FR attack needs to be Wind Enchanted as well, and that's where the Fujin LD call on Aerith came in. So with that, this attack is Wind Enchanted, and as you can see, it cancels out the Max Brave down aura. And this allows me to go at full power with Tifa in her Force time. Beyond that, there's nothing really much else to say about this fight. The bosses do have quite a few different HP attacks. Their first turn is always going to be Shadow Ball, which is an AoE HP attack, and they also have another attack that's single target, and they can also inflict an attack down minus 80%, which is quite crippling when paired with the Max Brave down aura that they have. All of that doesn't matter though if you do a no boss turn, because they only can inflict all their attacks and attack down debuff if they get a turn, so it doesn't really matter. As long as you focus on getting rid of their aura, then you are home free to pummel them to oblivion. As Tifa is smashing face, I guess I mentioned about the setup that I have. My party here is pretty well set up because all 3 party members have 5/5 ultimate weapons. But in Aerith's case, you really don't need an ultimate weapon. As you can see, she did 0 damage anyway, so just give her the best weapon that you have. She doesn't even need her Force weapon because I didn't use her Force attack. Up to her LD is enough. I used Aerith mainly to keep these at 0 turns. One option that you can potentially do, if you don't mind the turn count, is to use Selphie in place of Aerith. If you do so, you can use Selphie's wall to charge the force gauge, and you can at least then end her turn using her LD to inflict Rapture. This will allow you to launch during Tifa's force time, and that actually contributes to a truckload of damage overall. If you do that though, the use of Selphie's LD will increase the turn count by 1, so it will then be a 1 turn run instead of a 0 turn run. But the additional launch damage from Selphie should really come in very handy if, for example, you lack ultimate weapons for Tifa or Kain. Lastly, as a bit of damage boost, I also have a Cyan LD call and a Brother Summon, which I pop right here. As you can see, at high force percentages, Brother Summon does a lot of damage. My Cyan LD call that I brought out here, Cyan himself is actually holding a 5/5 ultimate weapon as well, so that does quite a lot of damage. And from here, you can just finish off the fight with Tifa. The only one bad thing here is that if you go into Brother's Summon, all of Tifa's attacks will do 1 brave damage due to the elemental lockout, but at this point the bosses are close enough to death, and this will then be enough to finish them off. So that's it for my first run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoy the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!